Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm sorry about my voice today because I was sick during the weekend, and yeah, I just hope it will be okay for you to understand, and otherwise I will try to do a voiceover. So today's video will be a little bit of a different type of video. I've already done a few videos on my palettes, on my supplies, on my plein-air supply and all that jazz. But today is kind of a preparation for PleinAirpril. If you don't know, PleinAirpril is an art challenge, or yeah, kind of a art challenge that takes place during April, obviously. And the idea is to go outside every day to paint something or to sketch something in plein air. And today I want to take you through a few things related to PleinAirpril and my preparation to PleinAirpril. Let me put this to the side. And yes, so starting mid-January, I'd say, I started to go back into plein air painting and have a few videos of that. So I will insert some clips of that so that you can get an idea, because the weather was so beautiful out there and I just wanted to paint outside. So today we're gonna go plein air painting. The weather is so beautiful outside and I want to enjoy the sun a little bit and try to go back into plein air. So there is a really nice hike, like 10 minutes from foot from where I live, and I've just prepared my backpack here. Where is it? Here. So I have water, I have something to sit, I have my tripod, I have all of my art supplies inside. I'm going to show you when I arrive on the site. And
life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change, turn the ship another way. Feel it in the darkness, we're sailing right into those jagged cliffs. Yeah.
hi, so I've just arrived. I'm not sure if you will hear me, otherwise I will do voiceover, but I've just arrived at the place I want to paint. So this is the landscape. I just love this landscape with all the hills in the background and the vineyards in the foreground. Like, it's such a great place. And the first time I came here I was like, I want to paint this place. I've done it once, 1 or 2 years ago already. And I was like, I will come back. But somehow life happened and I never came, because it's, I don't know, it's like maybe 35 minutes from home. And it's a really nice walk. But when you're working and everything, it can be hard to squish 35 minutes in, then maybe 30 minutes of painting and another 35 minutes back. So, you know, it's just, this is my lunch break actually. So I'm taking a long lunch break today to go painting because I was home working. Anyway, so this is the landscape and I'm gonna take all my stuff out. So this is, oops, sorry, I'm in the frame. This is my backpack with all my art supplies in. So here I have a mat if I want to sit and not stand, but I also have my tripod here. So probably I'm going to be using my tripod today because I want to do it seated. When I'm ground level, it's like that. It's not bad actually. Maybe I will do this. I'm not sure. This is ground level. This is when I'm up. Not sure which perspective is better. I think I like the ground one better actually. So yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna take this off here. So this is just a thermal mat and it's super convenient because it keeps me dry when I'm painting outside and I'm sitting. So let's sit here, all good. And now I take my bag and you can see what's inside. So this is my tripod and I'm going to put you on this tripod, so that's nice, so that you can see what's happening and I don't have to keep on carrying you around. It's a photograph backpack and I've added this belt here. So this belt is just, I have watercolors and I have my keys and my phone and stuff like that, and it's a photograph backpack. A photo backpack, I don't know how you call this. So I have this pocket here with my camera, obviously, And then those stuff like the adapter and a small tripod if I need it and stuff like that. And batteries and all those things. So let me take this out and then I can put it on the quick release plate here. You're seeing the sky, sorry. Let me put it correctly. Okay, so if I put you here, you can see quite well what's happening. Okay, so then I take my sketchbook like so, and I will just insert it here and take a new page. So I guess I'm gonna do here. I have a clip also somewhere. Just to maintain my pages open. Like that. Then for this, what I usually do is that I open it up like that. So this is, if you've seen my last video, one of my last videos, this is my portable painter micro and with my funny colors. So I wanted to experiment a bit more with this. And I put it here and it's secured on my easel. Hey, voiceover me here. So I was talking while I was doing this painting, plein air, but it was quite windy and also the painting took like 25 minutes and I was talking non-stop during 25 minutes. So I'm gonna cut it to something a little bit shorter so that we can keep this video under the hour because it's starting to get really long. Basically what I did is that I created these small squares or these small forms, rectangles with a colored pencil, and it just gives me my composition. So I have a squarish one, I have a very long one, and I have another one, and it just helps me with the layout of the page. And I really love doing this. I've been doing this more and more when going plein air. It just makes it less overwhelming to break down the landscape into pieces. And the first two on the top, the first one is really just a basic color study, like value study more, not even color, value study with ink and just some acrylic, white acrylic pen. And the one on the right, top right, is just watercolors, and it's more of a color study this time, just so to know which colors I want to use to capture the landscape and try to understand a little bit how to show the depth of the scene with my colors. So I have the one in the background more bluish and having more warm colors in the foreground and starting to think about that. And then for the one at the bottom, the long one that is more of the final one, I started with a layer of watercolors using kind of the same colors as in my color study. And then I go on top with mixed media because like I said, I really struggle to have watercolors be as rendered as I want them to be. So then going on top with mixed media, so with markers, pencils, watercolor pencils, Neocolors, it just helps me to build some of the details, to build the texture, and to give a more finished look to the piece. And yeah, I really like how this turned out. And it took me, I'd say, between 15 and 20 minutes to do the 3 little pieces here. So yeah, and I actually came back a week later or so to do a bigger one, and I'm gonna show this one to you in a second.
Simple equation for an enclosed system. Natural world gone missing, plus all our CO2 emissions equals degradation, waste and shifts and mass extinctions. Oh no. But maybe we can change, we sure can't stay the same, 'cause life's a foolish, foolish game.
So the next week I came back with basically kind of the same supplies and with the same idea, but because I had already done these small studies, this time I went straight into a bigger one and did the same layout with the colored pencils around. But yeah, for this one, same, I was talking and I had my mic, and I thought having my mic outside, like, it will help with the wind. I had even this little fluffy stuff you put on top of the mic, but I think somehow I did not completely connect it. I think I forgot the cable to connect it now that I try to remember what I did. So I had the mic on, but it was not connected to my camera. So what my camera recorded was a lot of wind noise. So I'm doing a voiceover to tell you what happened. And what happened also is that the camera kept falling into me because there was too much wind and I had nothing to counterbalance it, because I was not using my GoPro, I was using my proper camera this time. And I hope the quality of the video kind of reflects that I was using this camera, that it's actually a little bit worth it. Yeah, it was just a tryout, not really a bit of a struggle. And I don't know if it's this one or the first one where a dog just bumped into me and started playing friend with me. I think it was the last time when I was with my GoPro. Anyway, so same landscape. It's this one turned out a little bit squarish, which is weird. I think it's because I really stretched it on a very long landscape format. But because I knew already the composition and all, I went straight into the same steps, let's say. So I started with this watercolor layer to have these bases, and then I built up slowly the contrast and the details with a lot of different sort of mixed media. And because in the first one I thought I kind of lost the luminosity of the foreground, this time I tried to leave it more untouched and to just have some details but not go overboard with the foreground on this one, and not lose the contrast between the background and foreground. I think my shadows came out a little bit harsh, like I really wanted to show the contrast and I went for really harsh shadows. I'm not sure it was the best choice, but it was something. I mean, we're here to try. And then I used also this really fun cobalt turquoise color that I have in both in watercolor and in pencils, to add some pops of color just to give an element of brightness. I still need to figure out how to properly use this pop of colors to actually help the viewer's eyes navigate, because here with my harsh shadows I think it kind of blocks the way the viewer eyes can move around. But yeah, this was my second attempt, and I'm probably gonna paint this landscape over and over again because it's just around the corner and I really love it. And I want to see how it evolves in different seasons, and it's also a really nice way to track my evolution as a plein-air painter, and also to track what I'm using, how I view the landscapes and all of that. So it will probably come back in some other sketchbook tours in the future.
Life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change and turn the ship another way. Take less than we've been given if we move in that direction. Yeah, we'll find our place in this living chain. We're quite the same. Yeah, life's a foolish, foolish game. Life's a foolish game. Hey, life's a foolish game. Life's a foolish game. Life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change, turn the ship another way. Feel it in the darkness, sailing right into those jagged cliffs. Yeah. Some say we've always been insane. Hey, life's a foolish game. Simple equation, burning closed system. Natural world gone missing, plus all our CO2 emissions equals degradation.
And during these few months, so now we are mid-March, so during these 2 months I finished a few sketchbooks. They were already started before I started going back into plein air, and I struggled to finish them, and then, I don't know, I got motivated into going outside again, and they just finished super quickly. So I'm just going to show you a few. So this was in February this year. Maybe I have a video about that. I will try to insert clips of whatever I have. And as you can see, I've been very much into mixed media and using my watercolors with mixed media, and I will talk about that in a second. So this was in February. This was in February too. So this was kind of a really quick sketches and composition and values. This is so messy, but it actually helped me to do the final piece. And different tries, and then I did a big one in this sketchbook, I think. I will show you. This was also in February. So same, different small pieces there. This one is so messy, but it was a nice, a challenging but nice thing to do. This huge one, it's the same, actually, the same place as this one. Slightly different view, I'd say. Slightly different composition, also in February. I did a lot in February. And then this is a swatch. I will talk a little bit more about that later in the video, hopefully, if I don't forget what I want to do in this video. So those were the last of this little sketchbook. It's full of plein air and on location drawings and paintings. I used to be really strict about only doing plein air things on my sketchbooks, on my plein air dedicated sketchbooks, but I realized it just prevented me from experimenting and having joy. So now I do mostly plein air. So like if I want to go outside, I would take one of those I will preferably take one of those, also because they're really short format and they have toned paper, and yeah, many reasons. But I don't have any hard rules, so there are also some stuff I did inside here, like this one I did during a video, recreated something I did outside. Then there were some playing I just did inside, so there is no hard rule about how I'm using these sketchbooks. It's just I try to take them outside. This was in January, it was actually in a museum, this one. And this one was in January, and I was having a coffee with a friend, and I just did this really quick sketch of a church that was across the road of the cafe in mixed media. It was one of my first mixed media experimentation. So this is for this sketchbook. Then I have this one here, same that I finished just a few days ago. So those are really loose sketches that I did in January and February when I was at a friend in the mountains. I was experimenting with a brush pen filled with ink here, and it's quite hard. It's still something I need to work on to find how to use them. So this one is the finished or final one I did. So if you remember, I had small weird sketches here, and then I decided to do a bigger one. And this is ink, actually. This is the ink brush pen I was talking about. And then there are lots of mixed media, which I will tell you a little bit more about in just a second. And then this same weird swatches. And the final one that I finished really just a few days ago, I think. I started this one, so I started this one for the art retreat with Jessica, but I never used it there. And then I used it for Inktober. And actually for PleinAirpril, I want to do something a little bit similar, so have pre-made little circles like that in a sketchbook, so that I have really limited space to do my paintings. And it helps me keep it like between 5 and 15 minutes each. I will also have a weekly theme, I think, just to help me get into the mood. So those were all my Inktober from last year, and I really enjoyed it. It was the first time I did my Inktober fully, and it was the first time I really enjoyed almost every piece that came out of it. So I was super happy with this one, and this one. So I was really happy with how it turned out. And I want to take the lessons learned from this Inktober from my PleinAirpril. So have kind of a similar format to help me actually do it completely. So yeah, then same weird swatches. And then this was in February. This was a huge plein air. It was so cold. I died doing this. I was like so cold. My boyfriend needed to try to warm up my hands because they were like completely cold. It was so stupid. I don't know why I did that. And I did not have enough layers to be warm because the weather outside was really nice. And then the sun disappeared behind the mountains, and it was cold. It was all blue and all cold. And yeah, I thought I was going to be under the sun to draw this one, but by the time we came to the lake, it was already in the shade and yeah, really cold. But I really like how it turned out. Then those, not sure how well you can see because the contrast is not so well. It was during a road trip with my mom, and same, I experimented a lot with different mixed media. And it was really fun ones to do. And this one was by the Danube, just down the road from where I live. And I struggled so much because I forgot some of my supplies there, so it was really hard to do what I wanted to do. And then I went back like the next day or something like that to do this one. So it's sort of the same view, but with different medium. Then I did this in a museum. I struggled so much to get the proportion. They're not perfectly right, but yeah, it was hard. But a really nice child came to say, "Oh, you drew really well," and it made me happy that at least someone recognized that it was the plane that was in front of us. Then this one was just a plein air thing also in March. And yeah, and that was the end of this sketchbook. So this is to show you that I've really been into starting again to go and paint outside. And like I said, I've been using a lot of mixed media. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you already know that I love these little things here. These are the portable painters. And I have a video where I choose the colors to create this limited palette because I love working with 6 colors. Like 6 colors is my go-to. And I love to try different 6 colors, like not always the split primaries, but try other things. So this is one of my limited palette. This is kind of a classical one. It's almost the basic split primaries. And then I have this one, which I've been taking everywhere, which is a little bit different. It's not the basic split primaries, but I love it. So usually I will do the first layer with this and a brush, a water brush like that. And then on top I will, like if you see on, where is it? On this one, for instance, there is a layer underneath of watercolors where I use a lot of granulation just to create some texture. And I kind of sketch with that. And then on top, I will add different mixed media. So I have this here. This is my pencil case that I take everywhere with me when I want to paint outside. It's just so convenient. And I have everything. So I have this here just to have a red filter, and it helps me see the values better. It doesn't work so well because when there is a lot of sun, it becomes quite opaque, so I can't see. I will try to find another one, but somehow it's hard to find here in Austria. Then here, those were small ones like this before, but then I cut them so that I had bigger slots to put my bigger supplies. And I have water brushes. So I will change the 3 colors I take, either depending on the subject or just depending on my mood. and I will use them for accents or for background and things like that. I try to have a mix of water-soluble and non-water-soluble supplies in there. Then I have some acrylic paint pen. So same, I always have the white in there, and then I change these two depending on the subject or my mood. For now, I have a very limited collection of acrylic paint pen, but I've been ordering some, and some new ones will arrive this week. So if you're interested, I can do a swatch video of all my acrylic paint pens, because I love using them. Those are just two erasable colored pencils that I use for my sketches. Here I have all of my pencils, so I love to use colored pencils to add some texture and some pumps of colors. Those are water-soluble ones, so watercolor pencils. For now I only have the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, and I usually have those four in here, and then we'll add one or two depending on the subject, or maybe change one, but those are kind of my go-to because I mostly do landscapes and they're perfect for landscapes. And then and for those I have some Inktense pencils that are also water soluble, but then when they dry permanent. Like those, you can reactivate them. Usually it's kind of hard to actually reactivate them. I'm still working out how to use them properly to layer and stuff, because I don't find it so easy. If you put them when it's still wet, then it will take a lot of pigments and it will sink in the paper or sit, I don't know. And it will then be super hard to actually reactivate it. But the Inktense are supposed to dry permanent. And I will also have some Caran Museum watercolor pencils that will arrive this week, hopefully. So, same, if you want to see all of my colors, I can do swatch videos with all of these new supplies. And then here I have different pencils, regular pencils. So I have 4 brands, sorry. I have those that are the Prismacolor. I just bought a set of 36, I think, when I was in Canada, because it's hard to find them in Europe. I have the Faber-Castell Polychromos that I use, but I find they're not so great when it comes to mixed media, because they don't layer so well on top of everything. So, whereas those are a bit softer and they layer really well on basically everything. Then I have those here that are the Lyra Rembrandt, and I really like them too. They were my first set of pencils. And then I tried a few, so those I bought really recently. Those here are the Caran Luminance, which are allegedly for many artists the best pencils you can find out there. And I will just swatch the colors I have in here so that you can see a little bit the type of colors I use for my landscapes. So for the Caran I took a few greens because I love muted greens. So I have this one here. Am I on frame? Yeah. Oh, the sun is out. It's great. Beautiful color. So this one is chromium oxide, I think. No, it's olive brown. Sorry. Fail. This one is chromium oxide. Yeah. Chromium oxide green, which is beautiful. Mostly spring green. But I love muted and muddy greens, so that's why I also have olive brown. And then I have this really dark green that is so great for doing shadows, and it's really hard to get. That's where I see the really great quality of these pencils, that you can get really pigmented and really dark. My darkest green before that was closer to this type of green than this green. So, yeah, they are on the very expensive side, but you can get a lot out of them. This is my dark indigo, and same, it's lovely to do outlines too, or shadows. It's just a really great color. Then I have this is light aubergine, and I just love this color. It's just kind of a muted purple, and it's just great for an accent color, or I don't know, I tend to use it a lot, but I don't know what it represents in my landscapes. This is the Lyra one I have right now. It's kind of an orange, red-orange color. Really love it too. Then I have my Polychromos here, a dark violet, and that I tend to use for the shadows. So usually we only have one of these two, but I grabbed this one because I wanted to show you this brand too. And then this here, this color I love. I just put pops of it in my landscapes, even though it's not the color I actually see in my landscapes, but it just gives a little, this is light aqua, just gives a little pop of color that is really nice. So those are my colored pencils. Usually I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, or I can add some 2 extras here, depending. But yeah. And then in here I have a few Lyra Aqua Brush. The Tombow are really nice too. And those I use, those are kind of, you know, the classical like that. And I can also use them to actually water down some of my watercolor pencils. So I have a really dark one and a mid one. I also had a really light one, but because I'm using toned paper, you can't really see the really light one on top, so I don't use it as much as I used to. But for instance, if I put down, this is my brown watercolor pencil, I can use this one to actually dilute it. And it can create fun effects. So usually for my water-soluble things, like the pencils and then the crayons that I will swatch in a second, I use them both in their diluted form and in their dry form to add texture. Then I have a water brush because I use watercolors in a lot of stuff, so always have this. I have white gouache because you never know. I have different types of whites in there because you always need white and you never know which one will work best. A few random things. This is to put water back into my water brush. This is the Fudenosuke Tombow. It's a brush pen, and you can really have a nice variation. It's not a brush pen actually. It's yeah, it's called a brush pen, but it's not soft brush, you know. It's not like this one, or not even like those. If you see the nib, it's more a plastic nib than a soft nib like those. Oh, and those have 2 ends. We also have this end here. And then just a basic pencil, some clips and magnets and stuff like that. This sharpener, another fine liner, but with a chisel tip, and then those. So you may already know those. Those are the Caran Neocolor 2s. I have also the white. The white is super useful because it shows on colored paper or on top of those. So I really like having this one. It's a new addition. I also have another color, a sepia, another brown coming in this week. But yeah, those same, I take a few, usually a lot of them, and I just put them in here. And I have them with me when I'm outside, and I love them for mixed media. This one I broke when I was buying them. So I have the other half here. And this one I broke just before going outside for plein air. But anyway, same, I can quickly swatch them. So those are crayons and water-soluble crayons, which is like the best thing you can have. And first I had a set of like kind of primary colors. I chose the colors myself, but I chose them based on the colors they showed on the website, and it was not the most accurate to actually find the colors I wanted. So I had a lot of really bright greens, and I love muted colors and moody colors, so it was not really what I wanted. Those were the colors I started with. I think I don't forget anyone. And I had 3 blues because I thought it would be nice to add depth to my blues. Yeah, so those were the colors I had when I started using Neocolors too. This one is beautiful and I used it all the time. It's Sahara yellow. This one is just yellow. This one, I think it's... yeah, this one is lime green. And this one is yellow green, the other one, I think. Yeah, this one is yellow green, but it's like super neon green actually. This one, maybe salmon. Yeah, beautiful color. I use it a lot too. This one I really love too. This one is apricot. I really love it too. Beautiful, beautiful. This one is orange, I think. Light fast orange. I don't tend to use it so much except for autumn landscapes. This one's like ruby, yeah, ruby red. Then I have beautiful dark blue, Prussian blue. As you can see, lightens quite significantly when you add water. This one is cobalt blue hue, and this one I use it all the time also, and it's turquoise blue. And then recently I bought a few muted and earthy colors, and I kind of got, I don't know, it got a little bit out of hand, and I took every muted green and, oh, and I had this one before too, that I love and I still love so much. This one is olive brown, and this one I already had. And this brown I already had also, which is Van Dyck brown. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting some colors. This one is gorgeous. I use it in every landscapes, and this one too. But yeah, then I wanted to complete my collection with more earthy colors and muted greens, and it got out of hand. So I got this one here. This one is moss green. This one is oxide green, the same as this one up here. And you can see they're really similar. This one is dark olive. That goes with this one here. This one that I broke is shadow green, I think, or greenish umber, something like that. It's gorgeous, I love it. So those are my new greens. And then I took every earthy color that I could find on the shelves and actually went there to be able to try them and to be able to see them. And yeah, and I took them all. And I also ordered a sepia that was not there when I went into the shop. So this one is ochre. Beautiful, beautiful. I love them all. This one is sienna, and they're all a little bit different. You know, not like super obvious different, but a little bit different. This one is rust, I think. This one is more red leaning. Then I have an English red, sorry. Beautiful earthy red. Cinnamon. Oh, it's gorgeous. Sienna, burnt sienna, and Toledo brown. And I will soon have a sepia too, that goes with them. So this was moss green, this was green oxide, this was dark olive, I think. Greenish umber, ochre, oh so nice. Sienna, Russet, beautiful also, English red, burnt sienna, Toledo brown, and cinnamon. Yeah, so those are all the things I use for mixed media when I'm painting outside for plein air, and all the things I will be playing with during PleinAirpril. And I've also ordered two additional 6 colors palettes, and I will be doing a separate video on that because I'm super excited, and those are really special watercolors that are coming. I can't express a lot of excitement because I have no voice and I'm dying already. But yeah, I'm really, really excited, and I'm really looking forward to filming this video. So yeah, so those are all my mixed media, and like I said, I've been doing a lot of those type of swatches these days. This is just a way to test my mixed media and see what goes on top of what and how things react with each other. So here you have acrylic markers, you have ink, you have colored pencils, you have crayons, you have water in some places, watercolor markers, and I do that in all my sketchbooks because of course medium will react differently in different sketchbooks. So I try to do it everywhere I use mixed media. Same here, and then I put some water to see what happens, what reactivates, what does not, what goes on top of what. And I think those type of swatches are so useful to actually get to know your medium, and also they are really low pressure, basically just put some colors. It's really nice to do this type of swatches to see the colors, but those swatches help you to understand how they interact. And then I also do this type of things that are just really quick sketches with limited palettes. So if I want to see, will this limited palette work for, I don't know, spring scenes, I take a reference photo I took during spring and I try to paint it with it and see if the colors work for what I want to do. And same fun to see, does it work for a snow scene? I will do the same. So yeah, that's all for today. It's already quite a long video, but I hope it inspired you to go out and try mixed media outside, because I think it's such a lovely way to be painting outside. And it freed me so much, because before that I was struggling to paint outside with the medium I had. I just had like this here. I just found that it was hard to get a finished result and to do the details as I wanted to, and I felt stiff and I felt blocked a little bit. And also because I'm using paper that is not 100% cotton when I'm plein air usually, I can't use my watercolors the same way I do inside. Anyway, I wasn't enjoying plein air as much as I wanted to. And getting into mixed media, and in particular using the Neocolors and the colored pencils and the acrylic pens, and just this thing here just changed my life. This pencil case. It just made everything fun and really easy and compact, because I can only take like 5 pencils and 5 watercolor pencils and maybe 6 Neocolors, and then I have this with me and I can play outside. And I grab one of those, an A6 sketchbook, and I'm good to go. So it's just a really low pressure and fun way to paint outside. Anyway, I'm rambling and I have no voice, so I will stop this video here. But please let me know in the comment if you do some things for PleinAirpril. I will try to share my PleinAirpril on Instagram or here. I'm not sure how I'll manage because I have a lot of work coming into April. So I will try to work on my videos also a little bit beforehand, like these swatching videos I was talking about. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this swatching and talking about plein air video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! So, I know the video is over, but it's me again, voiceover me again. So the supplies arrived two days ago. I thought I would not open them and I would do a fully fledged video with unboxing and swatching and everything, but then I couldn't resist and I started playing with them. And then I was like, okay, I want to still film a little something. So I filmed me just swatching them out and remaking my acrylic marker swatches and just showing the last Neocolor, which is beautiful. And I just love the colors that I got. And yeah, so those are just a few clips of me playing around with the new supplies, and I'm so excited to take them because they are perfectly like moody and very muted colors with just some pops of bright colors, and I think they complement really well the colors I already had. So I'm very, very excited for that. It's funny because some are the same across different mediums, so apparently I'm drawn to the same types of colors. What a surprise. But yeah, so this is really the end of this video this time, and if you're still watching, thank you so much, and please consider subscribing and liking the video. Let me know in the comments what are your go-to supplies when you're going plein air. I'd love to chat about plein air supplies or whatever related to art. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!